Thank you for showing up if you are here or if you're watching this. I know right now I'm doing this live inside my community. Normally, this is a Q&A session where people are going to ask questions and I answer. What I did on my TikTok live last Saturday, where I got over 3,300 people that showed up to the live. And then at the end of the day, I got probably a good 100 to 200 questions throughout that live that I was able to answer because I was on for 3 hours, by the way. I wasn't on for an hour. I was on for 3 hours. I just kept going because I loved the conversation. It was really cool. So what I'm going to show you here is what you're seeing on my screen is you're seeing ChatGPT o4 mini. And this is the reason why I use this model is because this is the one that has the fastest and advanced reasoning. Now, reasoning has been a topic of discussion lately all over the social media. And it's been the fact that reasoning is not really a thing in AI, or at least it's been studied that reasoning really isn't happening. However, what reasoning is really is just thinking. And so I wanted to make sure that I use the more thinking model for this, but also I want to use the fastest model. So what are we talking about? I just threw a whole bunch of words out there. What am I discussing about? I was looking for a solution that I could take a bunch of LinkedIn posts, and I want to take a bunch of LinkedIn posts and determine what are the posts that are the most engaging on LinkedIn. Now, the reason why I wanted to do that is because I've been on LinkedIn forever and I don't really post much, but when I do post, it never gets seen, never gets engagement. And the way LinkedIn works is that it shows your post to the people that are in your connections, and based on their reactions, it'll start showing it to more people. I wanted to get the best bang for my buck. So what I ended up doing was saying, okay, I got to figure this out, and I'm just going to figure it out the way I know how. I'm a software engineer by trade. I'm a technology person by trade. I've been building AI for companies for the last 10 years. And I'm telling you, modeling, like predictive analytics has always been a thing, by the way. It's been happening a lot longer than just the last 10 years. Predictive analytics is basically machine learning. And then taking machine learning and actually act upon it is what AI ultimately is these days. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to take these LinkedIn posts that are getting the most bang for their buck, essentially, and I wanted to make sure I build a framework to follow what's working in that area. So if on LinkedIn, if I'm going post by post, and all of these posts are getting high amounts of engagement, I'm actually labeling the engagement, how many likes, how many follows, how many reposts, all of that. And you take that information, and when you pop all that stuff into an LLM in a certain way, the LLM will learn what the format is. And then you can utilize that to build yourself a framework, and then take that framework and pop it into your own custom project or custom GPT. And then from there on out, all you got to do is plug in a few pieces of information, and then it'll automatically create these posts for you. So on the screen, so right here, you'll see, it says, analyze the following transcript of video, determine the structure of the content as it pertains to psychographic, demographic markers, hook, story, etc. The goal is to be able to tell what elements of a video script create more engagement. This video didn't have many watches beyond 10 seconds, and only 1% of the viewers watched the entire video. So I gave it parameters and I gave it what's the result. When we're building artificial intelligence, machine learning models, we usually have to label things. We give it a bunch of parameters and we label things. Then we give it the next thing, a bunch of parameters, we label things. What happens is that machine learning is a pattern recognition tool. It'll see the pattern and it'll see the end result. And then it basically makes the assumption that if you have a certain combination of these patterns, this is the end result. So that's what I'm doing here with the LLM. LLMs can do the same thing. Now you have to give it far more instructions. It's not going to do it by default, but you just have to be more detailed in the matter. So I copied and pasted a script from a video that did exactly what I said. And so that was the first one. And it actually broke it down. It says right here, targeting framework, demographic, tech founders, aspiring tech founders. And so this was the hook essentially, and the target of the video that I had posted, or that I copied and pasted. Now you notice I didn't give it that many markers. I just basically said, I just want you to analyze it, give me all of these things. So right here, you're seeing targeting and framing. So the demographic for the video script that I put up here is tech founders, aspiring tech founders. The audience is entrepreneurs building software startups. Pretty straightforward. Psychographic marker, conscious, cost conscious, do-it-yourself mindset. So they're looking for the cheapest option, fear, burning through runway, and crave reliability. So that's giving you certain markers of the kind of audience that'll watch a video like this. Hey, this video is for all of my tech founders out there. Stop going for the lowest possible price. So what works about this? So it's even giving me instructions on what works about this. So this is a good way of learning what makes videos pop, or what makes certain parts of videos pop. So it says right here, direct access, tech founders, signals relevance, stop going for the lowest possible price. It gives me what it's falling short of, the things that it's not doing well, that this doesn't display correctly. So it says it's 15 plus seconds before any visceral benefit. You'll save money and avoid vaporware. That's totally straightforward. 15 seconds later, they finally find out that the issue that you're trying to resolve is you'll save money and avoid vaporware. Well, that's not good. That's what it's telling you. Does lack an emotional spark. There is no visceral spark. There's no before and after promise. There's no promise to the video. So these are all pieces of information you need to know if you're creating content for your business. You want to know these things. If you don't know these things, then you're literally just going to be posting stuff and just getting no views and no engagement. And by the way, in this specific exercise, I started off with videos that didn't do well and I told it didn't do well. And then I added videos that did phenomenal and then told it to do phenomenal. The reason why is because the LLM, I wanted to put it into memory that it has two different parts. It has people that didn't do well, and then it does the comparison on its own internally, right? Now, it's not thinking, it's not doing actual analysis in the sense of reasoning or actually doing any type of inferences. I don't want to get too technical on it, but it's just a word calculator. And it's just trying to find out what are the most relevant pieces of information that are together. So when you're saying that it do good, and these are the objects in that, then it knows that, and it sees these objects do well and then puts it together with that. This is the good stuff. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking to make those connections for the LLM. All right. So authority, credibility. For the last 10 years, I've been building apps and systems. Obviously, it gives you strength and authority, but the weakness is it's a flat delivery. It's a back-to-back recount. It doesn't illustrate a concrete hero moment. These are things that entice people to watch and listen further. Pain point sequencing, problem statement, offshore teams bill hours, don't finish work, reinforcement, constant patterns, errors, throwing against the wall, personal loop. We did this for 8 years. It costs a lot of money. Vaporware warning, software that never makes it to production. The analysis, repetition of the same offshore fails, trope without fresh, whatever. No concrete mini case, like client X lost $50,000. This is really important, by the way. I've been taught this by coaches over and over again. Make it not only relevant, but make it very specific. And so this says a client X lost $50,000 in 2 months of runway. I didn't have this in this copy paste. So it's telling me that this is the better concrete. This is a more concrete, definitive thing to say in this specific section when you're talking about the problem, or sorry, the solution, the pain point. Story and examples. Current form is anecdotal. We saw this pattern, generic, entrepreneur after entrepreneur. So what elements are we missing here? A crisp, specific anecdote with numbers or vivid detail. Again, specificity. It's always asking for that. A narrative, arc, challenge, turning point, resolution, benefit. Essentially, it's telling a story. If you ever watched a film from Hollywood, there's a specific pattern to the film. And the first thing that always happens is like things are going along. The movie just starts. The character's doing something. You're starting to get to know who they are. And then bam, something hits them or something happens that makes you go, oh my God, what happened to them? Like, why did that happen to them? And then that's where the story arc starts. So now we have the challenge. What's the challenge that they were faced with? And then now you have to watch them go through a bunch of struggles to get to what's called the turning point. And then once they get to the turning point, they get the resolution. The resolution is the climax. This is, we got there. This is where we're at. And then the benefit is what happened after. Usually, the funny thing is many movies these days don't even get to the benefit part at the end. What they usually do is they get to the climax, and after the climax, they'll cut credits. But the reality is the movies that do very well actually also show the benefit at the end. I just watched the movie Formula One over the weekend, which just recently came out. So obviously, if you're watching this video, the week that I did this is June 30th of 2025. That's when the movie just came out. And in that movie, when the climax hits, there's a whole nother probably 5 minutes of resolution of the benefit of that resolution. Like what happened to everybody at the end after they got the resolution, after they got to the climax. That's how films are made. Really great films are made. The film grossed, I think, 150 million at the box office over the weekend. It's a $300 million budget, but it did in a weekend, it did half of its budget, which is crazy, which is a lot. And that's because the film every angle of what we're talking about here. So when you're talking about doing videos for your business, you want to make sure you cover all those topics. Value proposition and benefits. Okay. Stated benefits of blowing through cash, launch with minimal money, get app done right instead of just billing hours. Opportunity gap. So what this is saying is that there's probably a little bit more that I could do here. So that's a good one. There's no quick win or psychological payoff teased mid-video. This is a great example, or this is a great thing, because what happens is a lot of times in videos, what we'll do is framework. We'll do the story, the hook. We'll add the story. We do the payoff or the call to action, and so on and so forth. But what we forget is that when the video is a certain length, you usually want to have another psychological payoff or a mid-tease in the video. Like, for instance, if I said, hey, at the end of this video, I'm going to have a gift for you, a free gift for you. And all you got to do is watch the end. And then I have the instructions on how to get it. Like that's a tease mid video. And so you could use that moving forward, to gauge in that video. That's the reason for that. So this action in the current script is if you need help, put help in the chat and we'll get back to you. So pro is that clear type of help. And then the cons is the CTA comes at the very end after 100 plus seconds of talking. No incentive. I'll send you a checklist or a free 15-minute audit or something like that, which is cool, which is exactly what I said a second ago. I'm going to give you a free gift at the end. There's something that you're giving. This one doesn't say that. It just says, we'll get back to you. So obviously this video didn't do well. There's a reason why it didn't do well. What I was going to show you is how I trained the model first. First video I did using this methodology had gone viral. I got over, like I said, 27,000, I think now, total views. And it's all because of using the strategy of teaching it. So what I did is I went and I found, like I said, the best posts that were getting the best engagement on LinkedIn. And what I did is I captured the image that was being used because it mostly had images or videos involved in them. And then I copied the text and I pasted it in here. Now, this specific thing, if you look at this where it says test post engagement is my project. I first created a project inside of ChatGPT. And in there, I created instructions. And my instructions were very, very specific. For each post sample, you're to analyze the framework for the following: hook, story, call to action, analyze the image for making the media intriguing, and commit all these results to memory. Now, this was the setup. Okay. So now I'll go through the thing that I was showing you. Blue it is. Okay. I forgot to list them in their order in reverse. Nice home. So first post that I copied and pasted the image first. Then I put the text for that. And then I said, here's a breakdown of LinkedIn posts using your requested framework. So this is what it's telling me. So post breakdown, the hook. So it's telling me the news cycle, the story. It's giving me all of the things that the analysis for. So it took that piece and then it says, this is a strong hook. It cuts through the trend, through tech buzzwords, and immediately addresses a relatable, grounded reality for SMB, small business owners. It positions mine as empathetic and practical. So very key words there, keywordy. You want to have those. So basically it shows the technology gap. It says it emphasizes simplicity and practicality over hype. It positions Bluevine as solving real world problems with accessible tools rather than flashy tech. Okay. And then the call to action, while not a direct call to action, the closing statement, we're making it simpler for owners to run their business, manage cash flow, and get back doing what they love. Serves as a soft CTA that implies emotional relief and benefit, encouraging action through resonance. So it doesn't have to be an actual click here or go to the comments. It's to be able to drive someone to take an action. Okay. I did another one, post breakdown. So again, it was simple. You image, you put it in, and then you take the text, you put it in, and then you let it do its analysis. Now, again, it's committing all of this to memory. Okay. Committing all of it to memory. Now, when it does that, by the way, so remember, my rules were up here. My specific instructions were in the project. So the reason why I do it under projects, because it's saving all that into memory and it's storing it up to the project. Then now I can go inside the project and I can say, what I did is here is it's missing the prompt. So basically what I said is now take all that information, take everything you've learned about these posts and create a framework that I could follow, that I could use so that I can make posts that reach the level of engagement that we're looking for when it comes to videos, right? And it created a whole framework. So then what I did is I copied and pasted the framework into a new project. Let me write a high engagement LinkedIn using the 5E framework, using a confident, casual tone, and feel free to add emojis when appropriate. Here's the 5E framework to follow. Emotionally rooted hook. So now it's giving me specific details to exactly what to do. Write a 1 to 2 line opening that will stop a reader from mid-scroll. Use surprise, contrast, vulnerability, curiosity, and then easy to follow story. Briefly describe what happened, what changed, or what lesson was learned. Keep paragraphs short and the tone conversational. And then the educational part 3 or the best 3 or whatever, top 5 key takeaways from someone that can apply or the stuff given it. Do bullet lists. Engaging media, so that area, every time it does a media, it gives me the actual prompt that I need to copy and paste back into ChatGPT to create the image or the graphic. And then the engagement call to action. And then it tells it to format the output like this: hook, story, value, suggested visual, call to action. And then what it did is it created this area that says, okay, this is data that we need in order to create this. So here's my topic. And then you see where it says the double curly brackets. So that's for you to put in the information. Like when I post now, I do, here's my topic. And then I put the actual topic after that. Here's my topic. And AI knows to grab that as my topic. Then on top of that, it says optional context. Optional could put in the extra information. So inside where it says, who is this for? You type in your target audience. Where it says engagement, follows, brand recall, that's your goal. So I want engagement and follows and tone, casual, inspiring, bold. So when you put in this information, it will spit out an actual post that meets all of those qualifications. And so therefore, I'm going to show you the first one. The first one I did was down here, AI fear opportunity. Let me see if I can get it to the top so you can see what I wrote. So topic. So this one, I didn't fill out anything. I just fill out the topic. I said, who are the promoters of AI replacing everybody? Have you thought about that? And so what it did is it said, hook, everyone keeps saying AI is going to replace us all, but have you stopped to ask who keeps saying that and why? And then now it's telling a story. By the way, this story isn't even my story. It's just a story that makes it sound like it's my story, but it's not. So it's funny. Most people warning us about AI taking over all of engineering. They're not even building AI. They're writing headlines and yada, yada, yada. It's sounding conversational, sounding like I'm just saying something. But the reality is I didn't say it. It just pulled that information up. And then now the value. So this is where it's giving the lesson. Fear is a product. Someone's profiting off your panic. Real AI tools need humans to design, prompt, refine, and supervise. You don't get replaced by AI. You get replaced by someone who knows how to use it. So it's adding all of these things. Oh, and then it add the image. So the image here, it says suggested visual. So see where it says side-by-side image, left until you left. So basically I copy and paste that into the next prompt, the next chat, and it created a perfect graphic that I could put into my posts. So now let me show you something that I did after that, because I wanted to confirm that it's working. It's like you do when I'm coding projects. We want to make sure that we're testing it. So what I did is I basically told it, you are responsible for engagement on social media. Analyze the following posts and provide honest feedback. Do not pander or say something you do not mean. I need brutal honesty. You have to tell AI it needs to be honest, because it will not. It will say everything's good, hunky-dory, everything's fine. You want it to be honest. And then copied and pasted my post that I just did. And look what happened. So basically it's telling me what works. However, and you would think AI is like, I just wrote this, so obviously I'm going to give it amazing accolades. No, it tells me what's holding it back. The tone is safe. It's not sharp. Like, think about that. How many of you have actually done a video and you'll be surprised that a lot of it has to do with just your tone? Like sometimes people need to hear the nitty gritty, the rough stuff. I just basically said, now just update with the new updates. And I did this about until it was basically like, everything looks good. And once it said everything looks good, that's what I use for my post. I use the image and I use the text for the post on LinkedIn. I hope that made sense to you. I know I went really fast, but my hope today was to answer questions on people who needed help with doing this stuff. And maybe you could take this and run with it and do really good and get some good LinkedIn engagement and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to end it here, but thanks for being here, or thanks for watching this video if you're watching it after the call. If you need any help, put it in the chat, put it in the community. Be more than happy to answer. And I'll see you guys next week.